It was Halloween, and we have a tradition. We go to this place, and they've got these incredible gourmet, fancy, expensive donuts, like ones with with Reese's Pieces and peanut butter cream, and ones that look like Frankenstein, and it's amazing. The decor is great inside, and we just buy big giant donuts and enjoy ourselves. What I learned last year, though, was you walk in and you see all the donuts, you see the cookies, you see the pastries, you see the coffees. So anything you can see, you can buy. And then there's a lot of signage that's like, try our this and try our that. Try our omelets, try our pancakes, try our waffles, try our milkshakes, try our sundaes, try our mac and cheese, try our caserla. Sure, and you're like, wow, there's a lot of like odds and ends. And last year I was like, oh, maybe I'll like grab a cup of mac and cheese. That'd be fun. So I order it, and I remember it was maybe like 40 minutes. They had to kind of like go and like locate the mac and cheese. They had to like fire up the cookers, and it was like it was a whole thing. Like, oh, nobody actually orders it. It took forever, and I was like, oh man, like I think like they kind of want to have some of these menu items, but they're not like ready for it.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it was really strange. And I was driving there, and I said aloud, I was like, let's not make the same mistake we did last time. Let's not order anything except for stuff we can see. So then I walk in, and
one cup of mac and cheese, please.
Yeah, and I see like they're like, try our sundaes, try our milkshakes, and I was like, well, I do kind of need a drink with my donut, and so I was like, oh, they have this thing called the Reese's Explosion milkshake. I gotta have that. Like how I think like how hard could it be to make a milkshake? And so I order it, and I thought like I'd get rung up. They'd kind of prep everything, anything that, would hold up a line. They would kind of, they'd have like one person dedicated to doing that, and then they'd take the next person. No. As soon as I say, I'll have throw in this milkshake, the woman like vanishes. And about 15 minutes goes by, and the line is out the fucking door now, and I'm the one. Like, all I had to do was say it out loud, and I've now caused this giant backup. And there's kids, too, in that line. There's my kid who's getting impatient. As a result of this, we haven't received our food. So, like, she had started to box up our food, but now it's just sitting there on the counter. Oh, and she had asked me, she goes, you want it fancy style or you want it traditional? And I was like, what's fancy? She's like, we, like, decorate the whole thing, decorate the outside of it. And I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds fun. I don't know.
Oh, no.
And so...
Nice job, fancy cup.
I was like, oh, God damn it. Yeah. So then there are attendants, and they're just walking back and forth behind the counter. They're not helping anybody. There's a drive-through. They're kind of prioritizing that. And I was like, why did I do it? Why did I do it again? I ordered something that they can't handle. And I didn't realize like the person ringing me up would be the person to go make it. And seriously, like 25 minutes goes by. At a certain point, I give up. I just go, I can't handle the anxiety of being responsible for this line any further. And so I take the boxes and I just leave. I just go over to where Nina and Gloria are sitting. I'm like, I'll worry about getting rung up later. I want somebody else to notice that there's like a line and nobody's attending to it. And I don't want it to be my problem anymore. And then finally she emerges with this massive, and I was like, I said like, well, will it be the kind of thing I can like bring in the car? She was like, yeah, you got a medium. I think I could do that. No. She comes out with this thing. It's bubbling over. There's ice cream everywhere. It's got cake frosting around the glass. It's got Reese's Pieces decoratively stuck to the all around the outside of the cup. It's this massive milkshake, and it is very aesthetically pleasing. And I was like, and I looked at it. I must not have been able to hide my disappointment after everything that had happened. And she was like, oh, sorry. And I was like, no, it looks great. And she was like, well, take a picture of it, will you? And I was like, okay, I'll take a picture. Because she's proud of it. Because she's decided to basically abandon her post and work on this milkshake for 25 minutes. And so I did as she said. And I picked up my camera and took a picture. She's like, no. And your daughter needs to be in it. So I'm like, Gloria, come over here. We got to take this picture with this milkshake.
She really doesn't want to attend to the line.
No, she's just like done. And, Yeah, Nina was just like pretty bummed out the whole time. She's like, "How did this happen?" She got some kind of Oreo caramel. Nina loves caramel apples, so she got some kind of an Oreo caramel apple. But yeah, there's a life lesson there, which is don't carry on the menu things. I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking, maybe you have the same experience. I remember in the 90s and maybe the very early 2000s, chain restaurant service was okay. I don't remember it ever being all that big of a problem. Then in like 2003 to like 2014, I think like chain restaurant service was just abysmal. Like I would say 1 out of 2 or 3 visits to an Olive Garden or an Applebee's or whatever ended in disaster. Or like you couldn't get your waitress to show up. You couldn't nothing was ever right. You were waiting for the check to come the whole time. Like it was always a problem. Friendlies, I remember, was always a problem. And then I feel like around 2013, 2014, and I assume the reason that everything went belly up was because so many more people started going to chain restaurants when they no one really ate out all that often before. It's kind of a rare thing. And then suddenly they had to scale. And I feel like, they eventually kind of figured it out. They're like, all right, we kind of know how to staff for our unreliable staff. And we kind of know how to size down the menu so that we're not serving a million things that we can't really serve. And the menu, I went to Olive Garden recently and I was looking at it and I was like, you know what's funny about this? There's like 5 ingredients on this menu. This is just pasta and sauce, pasta and sauce with chicken. Like they have made it look like they serve 20 different things here, but there is like one thing here.
Yeah, I remember going to was it the Cheesecake Factory, and they would give you a book, and you could you kept flipping for I don't know if it's still like this, but you kept flipping for ages, and you're just like the choice the paralyzing choice was too much.
Yeah, they had like Chinese food, and then they had like American food, and then it was everything. But yeah, this little place, which is not I think they have multiple locations, but it's not a chain certainly. They, I think that maybe my best guess is the owner is excited about some of that food. Thinks it'd be fun to serve that food, but they're not prepared to serve some of what they're serving.
They haven't figured out the manufacturing, the process of actually getting it to the people.
Not whatsoever. And so I imagine and what was interesting was she didn't seem disappointed when I put in the order. She was even kind of a little excited. It seemed like, ooh, we got one. Whereas I would have been I remember when I used to serve ice cream, if somebody ordered a frap, I was like, ugh, it's going to take extra time. I was really, much like I am now, I was very incentivized to work down the line because we would get these giant lines. I'd love to just churn through that line, get everybody out of there.
Yeah. I don't I really don't eat. The only time I eat out is actually with you guys.
Oh, really?
I don't. Yeah, I don't eat out at all. Because I cook every day, every other day. That's why I have so many dishes.
We went out with Matt and with John to 110 Grill, and I had to basically warn the waitress about all right, this guy, he's gone down market, so be careful of him.
And then they got my chicken sandwich wrong twice.
What was wrong about it? It had tomato on it.
It had tomato and no cheese. It was supposed to have cheese and no tomato.
So he goes up, and I hear him in the distance. Sandwich is wrong.
I don't think I was that assertive.
Yes, you were.
Yeah.
And then she did deliver us some crispy nachos, and
they were burnt. Yeah,
John,
they definitely were burnt. Yeah.
And John was like,
he couldn't say a thing.
Because you said that, he was like, I guess I'm not going to complain about these, but I really want to.
He badly wanted. These are burnt. She even served it, and she was like, they're a little burnt.
Yeah, she was trying to lessen the blow, and it was after our warning, and then but John was hesitant because of that, and then we just ate burnt nachos.
Yeah,
they're pretty good.
I kind of liked the burnt je ne sais quoi.